Good afternoon. It is October 18th in Oregon, and I have just come back from my visit with you two little wonderful kids, Alum McDaniel and Ape McDaniel. And I'm making this video, time stamping it for you, so that in the future, when you grow up, you can look and you can see what I had to say, and that you can know that you can always reach me, and that I always fought to have you return to your mother, and that I never agreed with what DHS Dallas, Oregon, Aubrey Havocost, Ross Waite, Sarah Scott Pickett, and a host of other fairly useless people, parasites, stealing money and lives from families and children, did, and that I fought nonstop, 24/7. It's like you ever get something in your eye and it's there and you can't get it out, and you got to have them look in your eye and try to get it out. It's like I have you, Alum and Ape, stuck in my eye 24/7. I wake up in the night and you're there. I go to work, I'm working in some boat, I'm looking at some part, trying to get something off an engine, and you're there. You're right there in my eye, and in this eye too. Okay? I never stop thinking about you. I never stop thinking about what your mother has been through and your brothers and sister have been through. And you're going to find out one day that you've been lied to. And there's going to be a lot of things that you've been lied to about. And they have caused a lot of problems. Your childhood has been stolen. But having said that, I want to say, grow up, always be respectful, always be kind to people, always share. You can say hard things because sometimes hard things have to be said because there's a lot of idiots and jackasses running around in the world. Too many of them work for the state of Oregon. But be kind, listen carefully to what your foster parents tell you that they expect from you, and don't pick on each other. Love God, have God in your heart, read the Bible, what it tells you that this life is all about. Don't be a fool. Don't make fools of yourselves. And realize that in life there's going to be difficulties, and it's up to us to overcome them. Now, for 6 years almost, you've been separated from us. You were taken away in the night screaming from your mom. And your 4 brothers and sister, I remember Mark Walsh at the time told my son, "We're going to help your family." He worked for DHS. That was before his stint at the hotel in Dallas. But they didn't help our family. They destroyed it. They destroyed the relationships between all you and your brothers and sisters. They destroyed our farm. They destroyed every part of our relationship they could. They are very cruel to your mother. And I'm saying this because this will never go silent. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, where you are in the United States, this country that's turned upside down with corruption at every level of government, in all the courts. The corruption in family court, where people are allowed to make accusation and lie, and the judge makes sure that it gets covered up. Well, anywhere you are in the world, you can find me. You can reach out to me and ask for my help. You can look me up on the internet, on your phone, and anybody that thinks they're going to hurt you, you let me know. Okay? And so whatever happens in the future, you're going to grow up and you're going to find out all the people that lied and all the people that were involved in keeping you from going home. Let me mention some very specific names. Aubrey Havocost, okay? Ross Waite, Sarah Scott Pickett, Jackie Nix, and there's a whole bunch of other people that were involved in making sure that they could continue to make money off you by keeping you in the foster care system. And it didn't just happen to you. It happens to hundreds of thousands of children that DHS, CPS traffics away from their families every year. Okay? And they make money off you because the government, the federal government, pays the state if they remove children from the home. And so as long as they keep you from going home, they make money. They pay the foster family money. They get a bonus of about $6,000 if they adopt you out. The psychologist gets money. The lawyers make money hand over fist. There's drivers. There's Bev Boatman down there. She makes money. All these employees at DHS make money. And they can't make that money without you. They have to keep you out of your home. They have to keep you away from your parents in order to make that money. And it's all in the law. You can read where the money comes from the federal government by keeping you from going home. They're paid to not let you go home. And they'll lie and do anything to make that happen. So Polk County Court gets money from running this case years after year. Okay? It makes money for the county. And then it makes money for all these workers in Dallas. They make thousands, probably a couple $1 million have been spent already on our case and continues to be spent by not letting you go home to your mother. Okay? And I want you to know that I'll never stop fighting for you two little kids. And I watched you grow up an hour a week. Okay? And there's only so much I can do. You know, they won't let me talk about anything. So I got freedom of speech. And I don't really give a whatever. But I'm going to talk about it. Okay? But I can't talk to you a lot about things in the visit. Like I can't tell you that the reason you're not home is somebody lied. Okay? I got photographs. I got photographs that say that somebody lied. I got photographs that say somebody wasn't safe to be around a child because of what happened to that child. I got photos of it. But guess what? The court's not interested because it runs against their story that allows them to steal people's children. Okay? So they don't want those pictures in court. They don't want to see the photographic evidence that somebody lied. Steve Walls doesn't want it to get into the court. Aubrey Havocost didn't want it to get into the court. The judge didn't want it to get into the court. He wasn't the slight bit curious what those photos showed. All right? Brian Raymer, who worked for the Department of Justice, sure as hell didn't want to get it into court because he wouldn't have a case. If someone was lying nonstop so the state could take you away and make money, what good was that going to be? So you got a farm. I'm wearing this blue shirt today because I work on boats, and that's how I went to the visit with you two today. We had crab. I think we eat the best of anybody that goes into those visits. Crab Wednesdays. Used to be Crab Thursdays. Now it's Crab Wednesdays. Your mom tells me something special she heard that you want, and I get it and send it home with you to that visit. And Appa said that she wants to go to the market and help my mom, help your mom, meet you, sell vegetables. Your mom's an Akha woman from Thailand. And Appa said she wants to go and help meet you sell vegetables, okay? And nobody's thought to let you do that because they don't want you to have any good times with your mom and dad apart from an hour a week. That's it. What kind of people do that? You just tell somebody, hey, I want to go to the market to sell veggies with my mom. She just has fun. Your brothers have fun. Your sister has fun. They just have fun selling veggies in the market. All right? So there's a whole world out there waiting for you. I will provide you with anything you need. You can contact me. I'm all over the internet. You can contact me, track me down by email, by my telephone number. You just ask around, okay? I'm making this video so that, like a time capsule, so that years from now, you can say, that's my dad, and he's a fighting SOB. He fought for us nonstop. He went to every visit, never missed a visit, all right? And you mean the world to me. And sometimes it takes time to figure out the system and how these snakes, these parasites work. But you're going to have to ask when you grow up more, who lied to you? The most incredible, brutal, selfish betrayal of children, lying to children, withholding information from children, okay? Those are the people keeping you from going home to meet you as of almost 6 years. So anything you want, you're going to need a car, you're going to need a boat, you're going to need to travel anywhere in the world. What's DHS got to offer you? Take you camping, take you to the pumpkin patch. They got the deed to a piece of property to give you. They got acreage or a farm to give you. Do they teach you how to sell food at the market and support yourself? How to grow food for good food for people to eat? That's what you're not learning right now, is you're not learning. Akha kids learn from when they're little tiny. They learn how to grow food so they never starve. Your mom learned in Burma, Thailand, in a war zone, how to grow food every year and make sure the rice came in and got put away for the whole year at one time. I farmed with her. Farmed with her on the mountains on the Burmese border, war zone. Farmed on really steep hillsides. You take a hoe and you hoe the dirt all day long and you hoe the weeds out. And you carry firewood, right? Take care of horses. See forever. There's a painting in my other room there of this beautiful thing. And there's up by the top of the Burmese Thai border, there was this big stone. And the Akhas called it the Ajibu Halo. It was where you go hunting the bird stone. It's a huge stone hanging right in the edge of this valley up at the top. You could sit on there and see forever over this whole valley. And if you went up a little bit further, and I got photos of all this, you'll see when you grow up or sooner, and you go up in the very top and you could see forever into Burma. And you see back into Thailand. And you could probably see as far as Laos from there, okay? And so as little kids, Michu learned how to grow food when she was little. You did that. You went to the fields every day and you grew food. All right? And you're not learning how to do that every day with your mom because of DHS and all these people. They don't want you to learn that. They took you away from your brothers and sisters so you couldn't learn your language. Aubrey Havocost said you could learn it when you grow up. Well, I hope that comes around and bites Aubrey Havocost in the ass. You know? Who could say that about children, taking them away from their culture and language and saying tough luck? All right? On false accusations, The court took away everything you had, took away everything we had. And none of these people will be held accountable. It's a corrupt system. America has become corrupt. Every level of government, city, county, state, federal, is corrupt. Sending billions of dollars overseas to help other people, stealing hundreds of thousands of kids per year, taking them from their families and making money off them so the parasite person down the street can claim out they're helping kids, or they're making money as a counselor, or doing this or that. So you're worth about $10,000 a month, each one of you, that they're making off you. Okay? Nobody paid us to take care of our kids. We did it. We worked every day. I work every day. I have work. Take care of the farm, pay the bills. Have to live in a separate place, a separate house, pay the bills for that. Kids call me, they need gas money, they need something fixed on their car. I got one car right now I'm repairing for your brother. All right? But this is here to let you know we never stop fighting. Your mother and I love you so much. We have the crab at the visit. We take more food to that visit. And when we all were together, see, we used to have the visits together, and then we had tons of food, and Victor and Atsa and Ango and Apium were all there, and Michu, and we all ate food together, Aka food and everything. That's all disappeared. Because Aubrey, they said, we want to make sure your mom can make it on her own, so we're going to divide your family further. Yeah, well, you know what Aubrey can do. But that's what they did. So they make excuses for why I can't be at the visits together with Michu at the farm. Think about that, the sadistic little people. They don't want you to see your mom and dad together at the farm. All right? They make excuses for it. Oh, we don't have enough people. Okay? We can't do it. All right? So the farm sits. Nobody repairs the fences. Nobody mows the lawn. Nobody finishes the well. Nobody plants fruit trees. Your mom has to take care of that whole thing by herself. All right? They think that's funny. All right? And every time they turn around, they say, oh, the reason for this is because your mom, this is because of your dad, blah, blah, blah. Well, follow the money. Follow the money. So anything you want, you let me know. And the people that are bad to you and the people that lie to you, you'll run into those kinds of people all your life. They're out there. There's lots of them out there. So you got to learn to cope with it. You can't let it make you into a corrupt person. And it's up to you to learn about God and how to live a corrupt-free life, a correct life. No corruption in your life. Don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie against other people. Be patient with other people. Help people that are less protected than you are. Always help each other. Always be kind to each other. Always think of thoughtful things to do for people. I had horses, ponies for you. That was all went away. Hampton's still down on another farm. He's getting older. He was cut out of your life. The ponies were cut out of your life. I looked a long time for those ponies. 3 little ponies. Then there were 4. Opium lost those too. We used to always have Hampton on the farm running around making trouble. You know, the ponies would go one way and he'd be screaming like, come back here, like his kids. You know, he's very protective of the little ponies. We greenhouses, we grew all kinds of food. We didn't use any kind of chemicals. So you guys could go and pick food, walk through the grass, walk through the bushes, pick any kind of food and not have chemicals on your not have chemicals on your hands or on the food. You could all be clean food. I remember you told me today that we had crab, and you said when you go to the farm, the cats are going to be all over after you because they smell crab, and I thought that was pretty funny. So you can ask your brothers and your sister, when you needed help or needed something, did Dad help you out? You needed a car, you needed tools, you needed to pay the rent, the electric bill, the water bill. Did your dad work out? Yeah, I worked nonstop to make sure that I can help my kids. You didn't get to learn Aka because they separated you out. Aubrey knew what she was doing. They separated you out. You didn't get to grow up eating Aka food, listening to the Aka language, listening to Aka stories, listening to Aka music. Your mom has a YouTube channel with all kinds of your grandmother, your grandfather, all kinds of people singing Aka music. If you look up online, there's a ton of stuff about Aka, right? I lived in Thailand for 13 years, Laos for a year, China, Vietnam, Burma. Been all over the world, and I can teach you how to do that, help you travel. The world's changed a lot since 1958 when I was born. Been a lot of wars. America's become increasingly corrupt. The police will lie. They give out these little badges, your little police badge. It's a lot of BS because the police will lie about anything to go against a person. So you get stopped by the police, you be respectful, but know your rights, the Constitution, the right to have a redress petition against the government when the government's corrupt. It says government by and for the people. Now it's just government for corrupt corporations, for evil people in government, to get as much money as they can, give as little back as they can, and take kids away from families. And a lot of the Christians, in the churches, they're silent. They won't stand up about nothing. And that explains why there's so much corruption in this country, is Christians won't stand up and defend other people. They won't do what they should be doing. It's all about singing a song, jumping up and down in church. They hardly ever talk about the Bible anymore. They hardly ever tell what's really in the Bible, And one of the 10 commandments is, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. It's one of the 10 commandments. That means you don't go into family court and make accusations and lie against people so their children are taken away. You don't do that. It's one of the 10 commandments. How do you like that painting behind me? I made that. There's a gal in northern Thailand, and she always has this really fancy jacket. One time she dyed her hair red and yellow, and I took a picture of that. Well, it was a picture she put online, and I did a drawing of it because there was all these colors, these Aka colors, in the sleeves of her Aka jacket. And then later she turned her hair black again, but I got that picture. So yeah, go to the fields, walk an hour and a half to the fields, grow rice. When I first went up there, your mom told me, what all do you eat, man? There's no food. And she said, well, we eat chili peppers and salt. That's our diet, chili peppers and salt. And your grandma, she made this pickled greens that was really good. Hopache, that's what it's called, naka. And then the lady, the blacksmith's wife, it's called the budgie's wife. Budgie means she made whiskey out of rice. And then the rice that she made it out of would make like this pudding that was sweet and a little bit, just a little fine bit alcoholic, but it was so delicious. And whenever I would be back in the village, she'd bring me this, I think it's called Chiba Duppet. I think it's the, and because she knew I liked it, and it was good to eat. It was like a sweet pudding. And your grandmother, she has the same name as your mom, Michu, and she knows so much about the forest and the plants and the animals and all this stuff. She knows just a ton of information about being Aka. And she's good-hearted, loves children. She's trying to come over here for a visit. But, you know, we got like 5 million people came across the southern border into the United States illegally in the last 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. And your grandma's been, she's like 60 some years old, 67, and she's been trying to come over here to see your mom. And they're giving her a ration of bull at the consulate in Chiang Mai. Oh, you have no reason to return to Thailand. She has a nice house by American standards. She has a coffee plantation. She has a tea plantation. She has a whole bunch of like 6 other kids and all these grandchildren, and owns property. And these jerks at the Chiang Mai consulate tell her, well, you don't have any reason why you return to Thailand, so we're not going to go let you see your daughter. And you got 5 million people come across the border, criminals and every kind of thing you can imagine, and they say nothing. It's all okay. You don't got to fill out a form and, you know, file it with the government and pay $750 so that you can get across. You just walk across, swim across the river, walk through the barbed wire. They just put you on a bus and send you to New York or whatever. That's how bullshit America's become. So anyway, we're trying to get your grandmother over here. So I might go fishing with Victor tomorrow. I got a diesel engine I'm working on. I got your brother's transmission I'm rebuilding right now. That's a real pain. That's a really complicated transmission. It's all computer controlled. It's even built by a computer. And what else I got going on? I don't have too much other work this week. I got to hustle and get something going. I got, maybe a guy wants me to change an engine out. I got paintings in the other room I need to finish, but sometimes when I got bills to pay, I don't get time to do the things I like. I got my taxes filed, finally, and yeah, so yeah, DHS made us go bankrupt. They destroyed us on every level they could. Took you guys away in the middle of the night. Ape was 1.5 years. Alum was 2.5. Totally traumatized. Totally traumatized. And these people have no soul. They have no conscience about it. They lie to the foster parents, tell them a bunch of bullshit. Right? Yeah, going down the road, we go long enough, you'll be able to adopt these kids and keep them for yourselves. How do you like that stuff? You know, there's that song, Dire Straits, or no, is it, I don't know who sang it, Money for Nothing and Your Chicks for Free. Money for nothing and the kids for free. Yeah, money for nothing and the kids for free. So Michu wants to plant more fruit trees. She's got strawberries, wants to plant more strawberries. And she said, remember what she said to me? She says, I want to plant more strawberries because Ape and Alu love strawberries. You can go out and pick the best strawberries on the planet in her farm. You know, the neighbors loved those ponies on the farm too. When the baby pony was born, I could hear them talking about it, right? We used to have a couple of pigs, but then the meth head idiots next door, their pit bull got in there and killed both of them. And that wasn't very nice. Yeah. So, what else we got going on? Oh, yesterday, the guy was buying a boat. He come up here from Fresno, California, and I inspected the boat, checked the engine all out, you know, make sure everything was okay. And it's raining, and we took the boat up the Columbia River. It was pretty cool. And I sat outside up on top because if you're going to have a boat, you better get used to the weather. They were inside. gotta keep trying. Went out, came back, and then the guy was going in to where they were gonna lift the boat out of the water, and there's another boat there sort of in the way waiting, and I was like, what's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna back up? Will he wait? What's he gonna do? He can't get in front of that other boat. He's not gonna make it. But he kept trying to do it. It was like this 30-foot boat and that 30-foot boat, and you're not going to get in front of that other one. The river's going this way, and you're going to get caught, and you're going to have no control. And you know what happened? The two boats went smack together side by side, and they like. And the other boat was a brand new boat, and it was like, oh my golly, that's going to cost some money. So that happened. And then last night, this lady calls me. She goes, Matthew, it's me again. And I go, tell me. She goes, well, I'm on the Columbia River in that sailboat I told you about with my friend, her sailboat and everything. We got like this Honda motor, right? We got down here, but we need a motor to get back to the place where the boat goes, and the motor died. And we got to start it again. So we were out of gas, so we put some more gas in it, but we couldn't get it to stay running. What do I do? I said, well, tie up to something. It's like, what are you going to do? So she called me about, 10 o'clock last night, talking about her boat. Well, we got another friend's got a boat. We go fishing on that sometimes. I got an outboard motor, a Yamaha 25. We could find a little boat to put that on. You don't have a boat. Still looking for the RV. I was thinking of getting like a big white bus. The Alum Apa Express, Our kids are not for sale. Yeah, that's what would be sort of cool, Yeah. If they thought they were going to take our kids and just walk away and nobody was going to say nothing, I got news for them. My brothers and sisters always said when I was a kid, he never shuts up. He's always talking. He talks too much, But I make a lot of friends that way, and they could have picked somebody that never talks at all, taking their kids, but they took my kids. I never stopped talking. Never stopped talking about it. And I want you to know that I love you guys so much and will be here for you as long as I can. Do everything. I want you to have a successful life. I want you to learn skills. I want you to be well-mannered, noble people, the cream of the crop in how you behave and how you treat other people, how you look out for people that have troubles and are less fortunate than you. I have all these mothers, they call me and contact me about CPS stole my kids too. What do I do? It's so horrible. Well, I wrote a book about it. I don't know, so I got it here somewhere. You want to see it? I'll get you a copy of it. I wrote a book about it. And here it is. And it says, Oregon's DHS, CPS, Child Trafficking Mafia. Okay? And I mailed these all over the United States to parents whose CPS stole their kids, right? Yeah. And they thought I'd never talk about it. There's nothing more horrible than having your children taken away in the middle of the night when they're babies and they don't know what's happening to them. And I remember, Ape, you'd always come running while I was working on the computer. You climb up on my lap and look at the keyboard and the computer and everything and be there for about 20, 30 seconds. Then you jump down, run back out to the kitchen with your mom. And I could hear your feet running up and down the hallway. One of the most beautiful sounds. And I got a picture on this computer, this just awesome, beautiful picture of you, Ape. And it's just right here at the top of my computer's home screen, and it says Ape Beautiful. And it's one of the most beautiful pictures. You know what? I got a series of pictures too. I remember that I was working on like the truck or something. My hands were covered with grease, and I went in the bathroom and was washing my hands. and you followed me in there and wanted to climb up on the counter. And so I lifted you up and set you on the counter. And there's a big mirror there at the farm, right above the sink in the bathroom. And I had my camera with you, and you looked at the mirror, and the mirror had a wood frame around it, and you like took a hold of the edge of the frame, and it was like a window, and you were looking, and I started taking pictures of you looking out the window and seeing yourself in the mirror the first time ever. And there was this look of amazement on your face. And I still have those pictures. It's like, wow. And I have those pictures, and it was really precious. And it still is, because it was just this beautiful thing. So, what else? Well, lots going on. I might go fishing with Victor tomorrow, like I said. And we only have 2 markets left this year. And that's the other thing, you know, when you grow up, there's going to be all these Aka people who are going to want to know who you are. All these Aka kids, grandkids. Hopefully your grandmother's still with us. She was at the hospital the other day. Meet, you'd love to have her come over and see you kids, you know. We're trying. We're working on it. And what else is interesting? Well, there's an apple tree out there. It's got so many apples on it, you would not believe it. And then I was fixing a boat the other day, and Michu went with me, and the guy asked me, hey, do you need any apples? And I go, well, he goes, I got a couple apple trees out there with a ton of apples on them. And she was sitting in the truck. He says, your wife want any apples? And I said, yeah, sure. So I said, hey, he's got a bunch of apples. She went and picked a big bag of these they're delicious, like golden delicious apples. So what else has been going on? So it's starting to rain. It's headed into the winter. And anyway, grow up. You're a few years, you're going to be wanting a car, Alum. And I want you, and I just love you both. And I want everybody to know that we never and will never give up on you. We will always fight for you. We'll always provide you with what you need. And we'll always be here for you. And it's really unfortunate that you don't get to meet you and myself together. And that's because the people that you're involved with, DHS, they don't care about you. They just make money off you. These parasites, you know, these ugly fat women that make their money off ripping other people's childhoods apart, you know, and then lying to you about what's going on. But you're going to find out what's going on. And you're going to ask, why did it have to happen to us? You can do a couple things with it. You can let it take you off the cliff, so to speak, or you can be determined to help other people that have had unfortunate things happen to them. And you can turn to be good to other people and to make up for lost time and be a kind, compassionate person. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't call bastards and parasites, but you have other energies too in time, and you can help people with finances. You can help them with things they need. You can look for people that have no chance. You can, you know, we have all these homeless now. There's so much difficulties in the world, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse in your lifetime. And hopefully there will be a correction, and that all these evil people won't be able to serve in government anymore. You know, hopefully one day they'll be in a court answering for their deceptions. And don't fight with kids at school. Be kind to other people. If someone's rude to you, don't be bad back to them within reason. It's not a license for other people to just jack you up all the time. All right? Your mother loves you so much. She has cried for years for you too. I don't know how she's hung on. She's cried for years. She called me in the middle of the night and says, how come Ape and Alum can't come stay the night at the farm? When are they going to come home? When are they going to come home? That's what we're telling you is, when are you going to come home? And when you come home, we're going to be there for you. When are you going to come home? And you're going to get old enough that you can tell all these people in the government, I'm going home. I don't care what you have to say. I want to go home to my mom and dad. All right? And I'm making this video to tell you that the reason you are not home is because DHS lies, the court lies, people lie, and follow the money. I don't make any money by you coming home. I don't make any money, but they all make money off you not going home. And that's the motivation. That's the corruption. It's happening all across America. Okay? And they're the reason you can't go home. And they lie to you about it. And they don't tell you. And they don't let me talk about everything I talk about. So I talk on these videos. Because I want to talk on the video and say, well, you want to stay at the farm, you call Steve Walls and tell him that you want to stay in the farm. I can't talk about it. So Steve Walls, he don't give a hang about you guys. So it's like, has he asked you, do you want to go stay on the farm? Then why aren't you on the farm? Okay? So, and praying mantises, make sure you always have praying mantises on them. And Ape, you got to learn to play the violin. I got this violin. And you try to find a violin teacher. Let's get it all going. I think you'd be really good at it. And I think you can learn how to fix stuff. You can learn how to farm. You can try to catch up on your language one day. You go on YouTube and you can look at all these videos your mom put up of Aka women singing. You know, her mom and her sisters and her sisters' little girls and boys. It's a big family. There's 48 letters in the alphabet of the Aka people, and there's 7 tones, high to low tones. That's the Aka alphabet. Well, DHS has kept you from learning your alphabet. They've kept you from learning your language. I don't care. You know? There's an article, and I was showing it to this guy at DHS today. Here it is. Read it. It says, see if we can read it here. It says that taking parents away from their children is a form of state-sponsored terrorism. There's really no difference between DHS and Hamas. They're terrorists, and they use their terror on children and families. Right? They traffic children. Do you know what that means? Trafficking people means where you lie and you move people, doesn't matter how far, and you make money off doing that by lying for financial profit. Well, that's DHS. That's trafficking. If you lie and move people any distance without their consent, their informed consent. Now, nobody's informed you about what's going on. They just, you only know what they let you know, and they don't want us talking about it. They say, hey, if you talk about that, Matthew, I'll have to end the visit. You can't tell your side of the story. We only get to control the story here. We're going to control the story. Well, guess what? It's never going to stop going out on the web what the story is and who the liars were. If you go look at the websites, you will see the list of all the names of the people like Laurel Levine, all the names of the people who were involved in stealing you and keeping you from going home. They're all there. They're doing it to other families too. So never forget. So when you grow up, you'll get cars, you'll get houses, you'll get a place to live, you'll get a job, you'll get an education. And you'll be faced with difficult people, but you'll also make really great friends. So be friendly to other people, be kind. You'll make great friends and you'll learn from the difficulties you've been through. You'll be able to survive other difficulties. And you'll become wise about the world when people start finally telling you the truth. And you find out how the court is rigged, the game is rigged. You have a couple of good lawyers and the rest are scumbags, parasitic scumbags, you know, all making money off it. You know how much lawyers make? They make like anywhere $200, $180 minimum, $200, $250, $300, $350 an hour. And it's all game. The court brings in cases, the lawyers make money off it, and then you have poor people like you and me and your mom struggling to survive, maybe forced into bankruptcy. They can't afford to pay the lawyers the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they spend. You know how much money I've spent fighting for you kids? Probably about $200,000. And then there's all the money that I've lost because I'm focused on this instead of just making a living. You know? But I don't give up. So contact me whenever you want to contact me. Don't listen to nobody tell you you can't talk to your dad. Okay? And I'm the only father you have. And get to know your Father in heaven. He looks out for little kids too. Anyway, there'll be more videos. We'll talk about all kinds of fun stuff. You know, I brought you those apples there at the visit. Eat good fruit and vegetables. Have a good barbecue. Go fishing. Halloween's coming up. I think it's overrated now. It's getting more satanic. All right? It's like a death cult. But Christmas is coming. And when I was a little kid, we didn't have any money, right? That was my last story for today. So we didn't have any money. Couldn't afford anything. Yeah. I just had that train. Remember the train I got for you? Still have it. I set it up for you, and then Sarah Scott canceled the visit. She canceled the visit when I told you Monday afternoon, that electric train, the exact copy of the one I had as a kid, is set up for you at the house to play with. Remember? They just think it's all forgotten. Anyway, we didn't have any money. And my brother and I, we couldn't say, hey, we want this and this and the other thing. No. So you know what we do? We got this Sears Roebuck catalog. Back then, everything was you got a catalog and you ordered stuff and went and picked it up, right? Sears Roebuck catalog. And they made a Christmas catalog that come out once a year. So my brother and I, we would open up the Christmas catalog. It was like lots of toys for kids and stuff. And we would open it, and we'd look at one page, and we'd say, okay, on this page, what would you pick out? And pick out something, and then we look at the other page. Okay, on this page, what would you pick out? And we just do that. That's what we got for Christmas. But our mom and dad worked really hard. They were poor, and they did the best they could do for us. Gave us a good education. My dad was a carpenter and painted houses, and he'd been a sailor, and he'd been in the Navy in the World War. And my mom, he was Scottish, and my mom's Hungarian, and she was the best cook, and you met her when she was really old. And I still have those photos of you hugging your grandma. And when she was old, and you only got to visit her one time in 6 years, thanks to DHS. And she passed away. And she always loved you kids and prayed for you. Anyway, hang in there. Keep going. Be kind to each other. All right? Be respectful. Have a good attitude. Listen to what the foster parents need you to do. Your teachers need you to do. Listen. But don't believe everything people tell you, because the world's not quite like that. And we always love you. We love you so much. We're always here for you. We're here for you more than 1 hour a week. We're here for you 24/7. And you tell that useless lawyer that you want to go back to the farm and stay there. And you're going to grow up one day, and more good things will come your way. Okay? So take care, and we'll see you next week. Here's that. I had a little pop-up there, so it didn't show this picture. But here's that article, Taking Children from Their Parents is a Form of State Terror. Okay? That's the article in the New Yorker. There's all kinds of articles like this about what DHS does to children.